So for this week's podcast of Believed, the title is How He Got Caught. So I took some notes on the episode, which gave us a little bit more of the details of how this all happened, how this started. So my first note that I took down was that when they would ask him a question, he wouldn't answer it clearly. He would kind of yap again and just ignore the question and just not touch on that answer. He also, when they asked him when he would get aroused, he kind of just didn't answer. He just kind of didn't explain, but he was like, I can't explain, but that shouldn't happen when I'm working this and that. But he did not answer the question. So going to that Rachel girl who went with him, she went because of risk and back pain, and then he would touch her uncomfortably, that was, yeah, he would put his hands in where he shouldn't. And I feel like this is a good reason to question his practice, because you go in there for a wrist and back damage, and then you're touching them places yet you shouldn't, which is really awkward. But for Rachel, her and her mom actually witnessed him get aroused. So it wasn't just one person who saw this occur, it was two. It was her and her mom, which I think really helped the case, because it's not one person is accusing but two. And it's crazy how he would abuse her in front of his when her mom was present. That's crazy. And then the way he would touch her breast, I don't think he should have been touching her breast in the first place. That's just, yeah. But the thing that I liked about this episode is that her mom didn't discourage her, didn't think she was lying, didn't think less of the situation, and didn't believe Larry and not her, which I found that's what I would do as a mother, especially if you've seen the aroused occur in the same room as you. I also took note about Detective Munford. I think that was her name. I liked her motto was start believing, and I don't know, it just kind of touched base with me, because it's yes, start believing. The dad from the other episode, he needs to hear this motto. So when Detective Mudford, I think that's the name, but when she was interviewing Larry Nassar, he kind of wouldn't answer questions. He would just kind of brush it off, and he would start stuttering. That's what I've noticed. The way he would speak definitely became less confident, and he would stutter a lot, which I feel that's kind of a signal of that he knows what he's doing, he's lying. But again, he does not answer the questions about having erections during the appointments. He just never get clear answers, which at the end I found crazy that people would still defend him and be like, oh my god, he's this person, he would never do this. But my questions, I wonder how the parents of that one girl, I forgot her name, would feel after seeing all this on the news, after not believing their daughter. But those were my intakes. Thank you.